Right, my name's Rob. I have entered Swimrun Coniston as my absolute first swim run. I'm a total novice to it. I'm 45 years old, and because I've never done this before, Swimrun have asked me to put together a little video diary as I go through all of this to explain how we do it, what the planning is, and what's involved. So I first started running when I was 28, having spent some time in hospital and realised I wanted to get fitter. I ended up doing half marathons, 10Ks, did a few marathons. Then I think for the last 5 years I've done nothing, put on lots of weight, tried to get back into running and not been able to do it. Over the last 3 months I've done a 75-day plan to lose weight and get fitter, and it's led me to wanting to do something after that. So I was looking for a new challenge and I came across Swimrun. But I don't really know what Swimrun is. However, I've got a friend who knows lots about it. So this led me to going back to Sam, who I had used to run with a lot, and I know that Sam has done events like this. So tell us a bit about your running background.
So I've been running for a long time. I've always a runner, and started off doing the usual shorter runs and getting longer and longer and longer, and then eventually did ultras, but was never really a swimmer. But my children are swimmers, and my husband is a swimmer, and I was at a triathlon event once and they had an announcement over the tannoy that said, if you want to enter for the family swim triathlon next year, put your entries in now. So I stood there holding the towels thinking, the only thing that's stopping us doing a family triathlon is the fact that I can't swim. So I set myself the challenge to learn to swim in about a year.
You couldn't swim at all? Or?
I couldn't reach the end of a pool, so I could do less than 25 metres before running out of energy, trying to do front crawl. So I thought, right, I'm going to try and learn to swim once in a pool and then get out. So I went from swimming in a pool to then thinking I need to be able to swim in a lake, 200 metres, which was a long way for me, but managed to do it the following year. My friend, who knew that I was trying to learn to swim, had said, what about doing a swim run? I thought I could do that afterwards, that'd be a good challenge. So I thought, why not? But came literally from not a swimming background at all, and decided if I looked at it, I could break it up into little pieces and maybe I could manage to do the swimming. And yeah, my first swim run was in the Lake District. So it was amazing.
And then what other swim run events have you done since then?
So I've done a couple in the Lake District, and I did a race in Jersey. So I hadn't swum in the sea at all, and because I'd done quite well in my other races in lakes, I qualified for national championship that was held in Jersey, which was a 5k sea swim. So that was a big deal, but trained up for it, and so raced in Jersey. And then I've done others in other lakes and rivers and stuff in this country.
And for a swim, so I've done a triathlon before, which is obviously you do your swimming and then you're cycling and then you're running. Swim run, it's all broken up, isn't it?
Yes, so it's effectively a race that goes on a preset route, which will be off-road running, and then you'll run to a piece of water, you'll swim across it or round it, so it could be in the sea, it could be a lake, it could be a river, and then you run the other side, so you literally go run, swim, run, swim, run, swim. The only difference with that, with a triathlon, is you have a transition. So you'd get out of the water and you take your wetsuit off, put your bike shoes on, go on your bike, take your bike shoes off and put your running shoes on. All of that transition just doesn't happen. So you effectively run in your wetsuit and swim in your trainers. There is no transition, you just don't stop, you just keep going.
So I'm trying to find the positive, and I think the upside of that is you don't have to go and cycle, or you don't have to go and run like a half marathon in one go, because it's broken up, right?
Yeah, so the distance you'll see on a swim run event is the total distance, that's swimming and running in total. So if it's 21k, it's a half marathon of swimming and running. But you might be running 10 miles and swimming 3. And
you'll never be running more than 5K, 7K,
yeah,
or something like
yeah.
that.
It depends on the race because sometimes they've got to get you up and over a hill, so it might be 7K. But on the any website, it will say, like on the Swimrun Coniston website, it will say the first leg is a 2K run, and then it'll be followed by a 1K swim. So you can look and see, well, what's the longest run leg and what's the longest swim leg to gauge just how far you've got to go.
And does that make it easier?
I suppose it does in some ways, because you think I've only got to get to where that, because when you get into the water you can see the flag at the other side. I've only got to get to that flag, so you're kind of like all the time getting closer, and you know, right, once I'm there, and then you're going to run 2 or 3K. So it is in some way, but it's also, you know, you're horizontal in the swim and you stand up on the run, so you sometimes, you know, if you're in the water a little bit longer, you might get a little bit lightheaded as you stand up, so you just got to give yourself a little bit of moment to like readjust. But I'd say it's good fun because you have that variety.
But running in a wetsuit, all I'm thinking about is chafing and
Getting really hot.
Yes. But there's ways around this, I assume.
Yeah.
You don't strip off and then swim in your speedos across the lake.
You could do, but you've got to carry your trainers, you've got to carry your wetsuit. You know, you can take your wetsuit off to run if you want to, but there are special wetsuits that you can run in, which are shorter, which have got neoprene, and they're just more movable. Chafing, yeah, you can put lube in places, you can put rash vests on, you can put anything underneath your wetsuit that will help stop that. But you know, it's not the same as a normal wetsuit.
Okay. So Swimrun Coniston, if I remember it rightly, and I'm sure someone will put some graphics on the screen if I've got it wrong, but it's 21 kilometres, 18 kilometres of running, 3 kilometres of swimming.
Yeah.
How long should that take me to do?
That's the golden question. The winners might do it in 2 hours 20, 2.25 hours, that type of time. But it can take up to 5 hours. You know, there's no set time that you think, right, you know, if I can run a half marathon in 2 hours and I can swim that, is it going to be that would be a sort of guide. But maybe 3.5 hours, maybe that sort of, you know, if you're going to fuel to that sort of time. And
what happens if I take longer? Do I get left out there running on my own? Or?
No. All the time you'll have, when you're in the water, you've got boat support, so safety support. They wouldn't just leave you. You know, you'll always have boats which will either guide the route or make sure that you're okay. But some people can walk it. Some people are really quick at running and slow at swimming. Some are really fast at swimming and not really quick at running. You don't have to be a master of both, as long as you can swim the minimum distance and run, stroke walk, stroke jog, the shortest distance on the run, then you'll be fine.
Right.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, because I have run a lot before, but swimming, I can swim. When I did a triathlon, I swam 1 kilometre, but I was the last one out of the water. But will I be all right? Because I also don't like all the fighting in the water. I'd rather just let other people go. I think this is where I'm going to need help training, I think, especially for the swimming, and I'm going to get some swimming lessons. And
yeah, it spreads out though, because I haven't done any that start in the water. They all start on a run.
I see. Yeah, whereas a triathlon starts in the water and you all get thrown in together.
Yeah.
I see.
So all the ones I've done, there probably are some that you can start in the water, but all the ones I've ever done, it starts. So it says swim, run, but actually you start with a run. Run, swim, yeah. And you finish with a run as well. So, because they don't finish in the water.
Oh, that's a relief. I didn't know that at all. Because I was thinking, yeah, you're all going to get chucked in and you're all punching and hitting each other. And will people laugh at me if I'm really slow? I'm just thinking of being near the back somewhere and then...
Yeah. No, I you know, the people that are there for the enjoyment, the environment. Is, you know, you're in the Lake District and you're swimming and you're going across the lake, and every time you breathe, you're seeing like mountains either side. You're there for the enjoyment.
Cold. It's going to be cold.
It won't be in September.
Oh, okay.
It won't be. Yeah, it'll be, the water temperature will be 18 degrees, maybe 19 degrees, and then you know, as you're getting out, you warm up through running as well.
So it's quite a relief when you get in the water.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I've got loads and loads of questions about training and nutrition and kit and all of these other things, but I'm going to leave it at that for today. And we hopefully, if this has worked out all right, we'll do another video at some point and you can tell me a bit about all of these things, but you're going to help me throughout the whole process, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. It'd be really good.
Right, that's it. First one, Swimrun Coniston. There's my little video diary. Tell me what you think.